No one responded to their call. Then the Deathworlders came. Its walls were scorched, and the lights flickered with every impact from the enemy ships that circled above. Inside, alien beings moved quickly, their shapes strange to human eyes. They were tall, with thin limbs and glowing eyes that reflected panic. They had fought bravely for days, but now their supplies were almost gone and their energy shields had failed more than once. "We cannot hold much longer," said the leader, a female named Leora. Her voice was trembling, not from fear, but from the burden of responsibility. She moved along the damaged corridors, checking the injured and giving orders to those still able to fight. Beside her, a younger alien named Zarek tried to patch the power conduits. Sparks flew in his hands, and his body jerked slightly as electricity arced past him. "The enemy ships are too many," Zarek said, frustration shaking his tone. "Even if we fight until the end, it will not matter." "We have to try," Leora replied. She took a deep breath and looked at the small group of survivors gathering near the communications hub. "We have to send the call. Someone somewhere has to answer." The aliens had sent messages before, but they were ignored. Most civilizations in the galaxy were busy or simply did not care. They had grown used to hearing calls for help and moving on, judging the outcome as unworthy of their attention. But this time, Leora decided they could not wait any longer. They had no other choice. She activated the main transmitter, a device that pulsed with bright blue light. It was old, made from metals that the enemy had not yet destroyed, but it was powerful. She worked quickly, setting the coordinates for the broadest possible signal, hoping that any civilization within 100 light-years could detect it. "Coordinates locked," said Zarek. He looked at the display, then back at Leora. "There is no guarantee anyone will hear us. We may die alone." "Then we will die knowing we tried," Leora answered, her voice calm. She pressed the final button, and the signal began to send their plea across space. It was simple, a raw message filled with urgency. Their language was ancient and complex, but the machines translated it into formats that other species could understand. The message traveled through space at light speed, passing countless stars, weaving around planets and drifting comets. For most civilizations, it was just another signal among millions. For some, it would not even be detected. Back at the station, alarms blared as enemy ships approached closer. The aliens worked frantically, trying to repair their defenses, but the power systems were failing. Leora ran down the corridor, helping carry a wounded alien whose leg was crushed under falling debris. She could hear the enemy pounding against the station's outer walls, shaking the metal and making the floor tremble beneath her feet. Hours passed. The station was almost destroyed. Many of the aliens had already fled to safe rooms, hoping the outer hull could hold long enough for them to survive. Leora, however, stayed in the communications hub, watching the screens that showed no response. The signal they sent drifted into the galaxy like a bottle in an endless ocean. "No one is coming," Zarek said quietly, his hope fading. "We are alone." "Maybe," Leora said, "but maybe someone will answer. We cannot stop believing that." Then, in a distant part of the galaxy, the signal reached a human exploration fleet. The fleet was small, a group of ships testing new propulsion systems and long-range communications. Captain Ethan Cole sat in the command bridge of the lead ship, staring at a blinking light on the console. "What is that?" he asked, frowning. The communications officer, Lisa Brown, leaned over the panel, her brow furrowed. "I'm not sure," she said. "It's a distress signal. But it's old, and it's coming from outside the usual charts." Kevin Ross, the ship's engineer, joined them. "It's using a type of signal we've never encountered before. It looks desperate." Ethan leaned forward, studying the data. The fleet had just returned from a test mission. They had plenty of fuel, their ships were in good condition, and the crew was rested. "Plot a course," he said finally. "We don't know what's out there, but someone is calling for help. We go." The decision surprised Lisa and Kevin. They were humans, yes, but young in the galactic community. Most species would ignore a distant signal if it was too dangerous. But Ethan Cole was different. He believed that humans had a responsibility to act, no matter the risk. The fleet activated their engines and moved toward the source of the signal. They traveled at incredible speed, cutting through the dark void of space. Along the way, Lisa tried to trace the signal, translating fragments of alien language into something humans could understand. "They are under attack," she said finally. "Their station is failing. They are asking for help, anyone's help." Kevin whistled softly. Humans answering a call like this, we're risking everything for creatures we've never seen. They might even be dangerous themselves. Maybe, Ethan said calmly, but they're asking for help, and we don't leave anyone behind. Back at the alien station, the situation grew worse. The enemy fleet had deployed boarding ships, and the aliens were preparing to fight hand-to-hand. Leora looked at her people, their eyes wide with fear. They had faced battles before, but nothing like this. "Stay close," she said. "Protect the wounded. We fight until the end, but we do not panic." Zarek worked quickly, trying to stabilize the main power grid. Sparks flew again, and a panel exploded beside him. He stumbled but kept working, sweat running down his face. Then a faint light appeared in the distance. It was small at first, a tiny dot moving closer to the station. Leora squinted at the view screen. The enemy ships had not detected it yet. "What is that?" she whispered. The dot grew larger. Then a human ship appeared, sleek and silver, moving directly toward the station without hesitation. More ships followed, forming a small but disciplined formation. The aliens froze. They had heard of humans before, whispered stories from travelers and scouts, but no one had ever seen one in person. "Humans?" Zarek asked, disbelief in his voice. They came." Ethan Cole's voice came over the communication channels. It was calm, confident, and filled with purpose. "We received your signal. We are here to help. Hold on." The aliens stared at the screens, unable to speak. They had expected no one had accepted that they might die alone. Yet here were humans coming from the void to answer their desperate call. Leora's chest tightened. Hope, a feeling almost forgotten, returned. "Prepare the docking bays," she said, her voice stronger now. "We are not alone anymore." The enemy ships noticed the human fleet and fired immediately. Explosions rocked the alien station and alarms screamed. But the humans did not retreat. Ethan's ships moved with precision, deflecting attacks and returning fire. The aliens watched in shock as the newcomers fought, not like other species that ran or hid, but with determination and fearlessness. Inside the station, Leora felt a surge of relief. Humans, Deathworlders as they were called, had come to their aid. She could hardly believe it. The signal they had sent, a final hope, had not gone unanswered. "Keep working," she told her people. "We are saved, at least for now." Zarek nodded, eyes wide. For the first time since the siege began, he allowed himself to believe that they might survive. The stars outside no longer felt so distant and cold. Somewhere among them, humans were coming, and they were not afraid of death. And so, the story of a desperate signal began to change. As humans ran toward danger while the galaxy continued to turn in silence, the human fleet moved steadily toward the alien station, their silver hulls reflecting the cold light of nearby stars. Inside the lead ship, Captain Ethan Cole studied the approaching station with a mixture of caution and determination. Beside him, Communications Officer Lisa Brown translated every fragment of the alien distress message. Engineer Kevin Ross ran simulations, predicting how the humans could dock safely and assist the survivors without becoming trapped themselves. "We need to know what we are walking into," Kevin said. "The station is badly damaged. We don't even know how many enemies are still in orbit." "We adapt," Ethan replied simply. "That's what humans do." The aliens inside the station were still in shock. Leora moved among her people, telling them to stay calm, but the tension was thick in the air. Some aliens huddled near the walls, while others tried to repair broken systems. When the first human ship came into view, their fear returned. These were Deathworlders, humans who had survived harsh planets with extreme gravity and hostile environments. Stories told that humans could endure almost anything, and that alone made the aliens nervous. "Are they dangerous?" Zarek whispered. His voice shook slightly. "We don't know," Leora admitted. "But they are here to help. That is all we can hope for." The humans prepared to dock. Ethan gave clear orders, his voice steady and calm. "Maria Young and Jack Turner prepare the boarding shuttles. Lisa, coordinate with the aliens. Kevin, be ready to adapt our tools to their systems. We do this carefully but quickly. Lives depend on it." The boarding shuttles moved out. Maria Young, a skilled human officer, guided one shuttle through the debris-filled space near the station. Jack Turner followed closely, carrying medical supplies and emergency repair kits. Inside the shuttles, the humans felt tension, but no fear stopped them. They had been trained for situations like this, but nothing could prepare them for the scale of destruction and chaos that awaited. As the humans approached, The aliens watched from the windows, trembling. They had not seen anyone come so boldly into danger. The enemy ships still circled, expecting the station to fall, and the aliens were certain the humans would be destroyed as well. The first shuttle docked with a shudder. Airlock sealed and Maria Young carefully opened the hatch. The humans stepped out, wearing protective suits that shimmered under the flickering lights of the station. Leora met them cautiously. She could not hide her astonishment. I did not expect you," she said. Her voice was quiet but steady. "We thought we would die alone." Ethan stepped forward. "We came as soon as we received your signal. We do not leave anyone behind. Now show us what we can do to help." Zarek stepped back, still wary. He had heard of human brutality in wars, and their planets were called death worlds for a reason. Yet the humans did not look aggressive. They looked calm, strong, and ready to act. "We need repairs on the power grid and medical aid for the wounded," Leora said. "And we need your ships to defend us. The enemy will not wait." Ethan nodded. "We will handle that. You focus on keeping your people safe." The humans moved quickly. Lisa Brown set up communication relays to stabilize the alien network. She worked with Zarek, translating commands and rerouting energy to damaged systems. Kevin Ross used human tools adapted to alien technology, fixing panels that had been destroyed in the bombardment. Sparks flew, but the humans worked efficiently, showing patience and skill that amazed the aliens. Meanwhile, on the station corridors, Maria Young and Jack Turner led medical teams. Wounded aliens were carried to safe rooms, their injuries treated with care. Some aliens had broken limbs, while others had burns or radiation exposure. The humans did not complain. They worked tirelessly, moving from one patient to another, even when alarms sounded and debris fell around them. "How do they keep going?" an alien named Marek whispered to another. "They are not slowing down, not even when the station shakes." I don't know," the other replied. "But maybe this is why they survived their worlds. Maybe we were wrong to fear them." The enemy ships noticed the humans and fired. Explosions shook the station, sending alarms, screaming, and dust into the air. The aliens froze, expecting chaos, but the humans remained calm. Ethan gave orders, and human boarding teams quickly set up defenses along the corridors. Energy barriers were deployed to protect critical systems, and strategically placed shields absorbed the worst of the attacks. Inside the station, Leora could not help but watch in awe. Humans fought not just with weapons, but with determination, moving quickly and decisively. They did not hesitate even when the floor beneath them cracked or debris fell from the ceiling. The aliens had never seen courage like this. Zarek, now working alongside Lisa, looked at the human engineer. How can they endure so much? Their bodies, they should be weak under these conditions. Kevin glanced at him, wiping sweat from his forehead. "We are not weak. We grow strong in hard worlds. We fight because we choose to. We survive because we refuse to give up." The alien realized that humans were different from any species he had encountered. They were not perfect, but they had an unyielding will. And now that was saving lives. Hours passed. Repairs were completed and more of the wounded were stabilized. The human fleet hovered nearby, ready to engage the enemy. Ethan studied the incoming ships on the screens. The enemy had grown more confident, thinking the station could be taken easily. They had not expected humans to arrive so boldly. "They will attack soon," Ethan said. "We prepare now, not after they strike. Every corridor, every system, every person counts. Stay focused." Leora gathered her leaders. "They are humans," she said softly. "They are here to help. Do not fear them. They will fight with us, not against us." The aliens slowly began to understand. These humans were not monsters, not conquerors, not selfish opportunists. They were allies. They had risked everything for creatures they did not even know existed. Hope returned to the station like a light that had been lost for days. Maria Young led a team to the docking bay where smaller enemy crafts were approaching. She placed explosives and traps, using human ingenuity to maximize effect. Jack Turner worked alongside her, ensuring that the traps did not endanger alien civilians. When the enemy ships approached too close, the traps activated, destroying several of them in a sudden, brilliant explosion. From the observation deck, Zarek could only stare. "I have never seen such tactics," he murmured. "They are fearless." Lisa Brown coordinated energy redirection to power the station shields, allowing the docking bays to hold against the enemy's bombardment. The aliens helped, following instructions carefully. Each human act gave them confidence, showing them that survival was possible even in this desperate situation. For the first time since the siege began, the aliens began to believe they might survive. They worked alongside the humans, not just as helpless observers but as participants in the defense. Small victories, like repairing a vital conduit or repelling an enemy ship, lifted spirits. The humans did not ask for thanks or reward, they simply acted, focused on saving lives. Ethan Cole watched all of this from the command ship. He knew the battle was not over, but he also knew the first step had been taken. Humans had entered the fight, not for glory or profit, but because it was the right thing to do. He could see the fear leaving the aliens' eyes, replaced by cautious trust. Leora approached him through the communication channel. Her expression was serious but grateful. "We did not expect anyone to come," she said. "We thought we were alone." "You were not," Ethan replied. "We always answer the call. Humans do not leave anyone behind." The alien leader allowed herself a small smile. Hope, long absent, returned. The station was far from safe, but now they had allies who would not run from danger. Humans had arrived, and they had brought a new strength, one that the aliens had never imagined. As the enemy ships regrouped, preparing for a renewed assault, Ethan and his team stood ready. The humans were determined to protect the station and the lives within it. And the aliens watched, learning that courage was not measured by size or numbers, but by the willingness to act when all seems lost. The story of the humans' arrival spread quietly among the surviving aliens. Whispered in the halls, in the med bays, and in the control rooms, it became clear. These Deathworlders were not like any others. They were not afraid. They were here to fight, to save, to endure. And so, the station that had seemed doomed slowly became a place of hope. Humans and aliens worked together, preparing for what was coming next. They did not know if victory was certain, but they knew one thing. Humans had answered the call, and nothing would be the same again. The enemy ships had grown bold. After watching the humans repair the station and protect the aliens, they assumed that the newcomers were inexperienced, unprepared, or simply reckless. They misjudged. From the observation deck, Ethan Cole watched the enemy formation tighten. The ships moved with a predator's patience, expecting the station to falter under pressure. Ethan's jaw was firm. He had seen humans survive conditions that would have destroyed almost any other species. He knew that retreat was not an option. "Prepare for engagement," he said calmly. Lisa Brown relayed commands to the alien crews, coordinating defenses, rerouting power to shields, and establishing emergency escape corridors. Kevin Ross worked furiously, enhancing the station systems, linking alien technology to human designs. The aliens were amazed. Tools that had been broken beyond repair now worked better than ever. "They are unstoppable," Zarek muttered, watching Kevin and Lisa adjust panels and energy conduits with precision. "They do not give up," Leora said softly. "That is why they survive." The first wave of enemy ships struck. Beams of energy lanced through space, striking the station's outer hull. Alarms screamed, shaking the station violently. Debris floated in the corridors as humans and aliens scrambled to defend the wounded and maintain critical systems. Maria Young led a human squad through the main corridors, placing defensive turrets and blocking points. Jack Turner coordinated with alien soldiers, training them to use human-style combat techniques in the cramped hallways. Humans fought with a strange mix of speed, patience, and unpredictability. They anticipated attacks, adapted to conditions, and never hesitated even when enemy drones broke through the hull. "Hold this corridor," Maria shouted, throwing a small explosive to block advancing drones. Aliens beside her ducked instinctively, astonished by her precision. She moved forward without hesitation, even as a panel exploded behind her, sending smoke and sparks across the hall. "I can't believe they don't stop," Zarek whispered to Leora. "They are fearless," Leora nodded, her eyes wide. She had seen courage before, but humans were different. They were relentless, moving through fire, explosions, and collapsing corridors without faltering. They adapted instantly to conditions that would have paralyzed any other species. On the command deck, Ethan directed the fleet. Small human ships moved aggressively, using tactics that the enemy had never faced. They dodged attacks, flanked, and counterattacked with precision. Lisa relayed alien sensor data, helping human pilots anticipate enemy maneuvers. Every shot counted. Every movement was deliberate. "They are attacking harder now," Kevin said. The enemy does not expect this level of coordination. We can turn the tide if we keep pushing. Ethan's eyes were steady. We push. Humans do not back down, not when others depend on them. Inside the station, aliens began to fight alongside humans. They followed instructions carefully, using their unique abilities to support defenses. Some managed energy shields, some assisted with repairs, and some helped evacuate civilians. The humans' courage inspired them, giving them hope they had not felt in days. The battle raged for hours. Corridors shook, lights flickered, and alarms screamed. Human squads moved through damaged sections, clearing enemies and rescuing trapped aliens. Even when wounded, they refused to stop. They dragged injured comrades and civilians to safety, never leaving anyone behind. Maria Young and Jack Turner led a counterattack in one section where enemy boarding ships had broken through. Humans and aliens fought side by side, their coordination improving with every move. Small explosions, rapid-fire weapons, and calculated maneuvers cleared the enemy from the corridors. Aliens began to cheer silently when they saw humans survive situations that would have killed most of their species. "We fight with them," Zarek exclaimed, awe in his voice. "They are unstoppable." "Yes," Leora said, watching the humans move forward fearlessly. "This is why they are called Deathworlders. They are born to survive." Outside, the human fleet engaged the larger enemy ships. Ethan coordinated the movements of all vessels, attacking weak points, drawing the enemy into traps, and defending the station from orbital bombardment. Their tactics were strange, unpredictable, and highly effective. Enemy commanders struggled to adjust, surprised by the humans' willingness to take risks others would never consider. Kevin monitored energy fluctuations and shield integrity. "They are holding the station together better than expected," he said. "The aliens could not have done this alone. They never expected humans to arrive like this," Lisa said quietly, "and now we are changing everything for them." Inside the station, the humans moved strategically. Every step was calculated yet bold. They were not reckless. Maria and Jack led teams to secure vital areas, preventing the enemy from causing further destruction. Human ingenuity and adaptability shone through. They used alien technology, repaired broken systems, and improvised weapons where needed. "Look at them," Zarek whispered to Leora. "They do not stop, they do not fear, they fight for others." "Yes," Leora said, her chest tightening with admiration. "This is courage, not just strength. This is something we have never seen before." The enemy attempted a new tactic, sending boarding pods to disable the station's life support. Humans intercepted them, using explosives and precision weapons to destroy the pods before they could reach critical systems. Explosions rocked the station, and the humans continued forward, ignoring debris, sparks, and collapsing walls. Ethan observed calmly from the command deck. "We continue," he said. "They will break if we hesitate. Humans do not hesitate." Aliens saw humans helping aliens trapped in damaged areas, dragging them out and protecting them from falling rubble. Every rescued life was a small victory. The aliens began to fight harder, inspired by humans who risked everything without fear. "We can win this," Zarek said, more confident now. "We fight beside them, we fight with them." "That is the lesson humans bring," Leora said. "They show us that fear is natural, but courage is choice." Hours turned into a long, grueling day. Humans and aliens worked together seamlessly. The enemy fleet was being worn down by tactical precision, bravery, and unexpected maneuvers. The station, while damaged, held strong under the combined efforts. In one corridor, a group of humans and aliens found themselves surrounded. Enemy forces closed in from both sides. Maria Young took a deep breath. "We move together," she said. The humans formed a protective line around the aliens. Jack Turner gave covering fire while humans covered the retreat of alien civilians. Every move was coordinated, every action deliberate. Zarek watched as one human soldier shielded an alien from a falling ceiling panel, taking the damage instead. He could not believe what he saw. "They would give their lives for us, for strangers?" he asked, shocked. "Yes," Leora replied. "That is what humans do. They answer the call when no one else will." Even the enemy commanders began to feel fear. They had expected an easy victory, but the humans were relentless, adapting faster than anticipated and willing to endure almost any hardship. Their attacks became more cautious, tentative, and hesitant. Ethan ordered a final push. "We drive them back." We do not stop until the station is safe and our allies are out of danger. Human ships moved forward, aggressively targeting enemy formations. Boarding parties cleared critical areas of the station. The combined human-alien defense was now more than the sum of its parts. By the time the sun of the nearby star rose over the dying planet, the enemy forces were in retreat. Explosions marked the enemy's departure, but the station had survived. Humans and aliens were exhausted, injured, but alive. Humans carried the wounded, repaired the most critical systems, and set up defenses for potential counterattacks. Leora finally allowed herself to breathe. She looked at the humans with a mixture of awe and gratitude. "You came when no one else would," she said softly. "We owe you everything." Ethan shook his head. "We answered your call, that is enough. Now we make sure you survive and that the station endures." Aliens began to repair, guided by humans who taught them new ways to strengthen their defenses. Hope returned to the station, stronger than it had been in days. Humans had not just fought, they had inspired, led, and protected. Zarek looked around at the humans and said quietly to Leora, "We will never forget this. Humans, they are not like any others in the galaxy. They are something else." "Yes," Leora replied, smiling. "They are our salvation and a reminder that courage can arrive when it is least expected." The battle had ended, but the lesson remained clear. Humans, Deathworlders from harsh planets, did not flee from danger. They faced it, endured it, and protected others, even strangers. The galaxy had witnessed their courage, and the aliens would tell this story for generations. And so, in the debris-filled corridors and battered hulls of the station, humans and aliens stood together, victorious, but aware that the war was not fully over. Their cooperation had turned the tide, and they had shown the galaxy that hope could arrive. Even when it seemed all was lost, the battle was over. But the station still shook from the damage it had suffered. Alarms still wailed in broken circuits, and walls were scorched black from energy blasts. Humans and aliens moved carefully through the corridors, checking on the wounded, repairing broken panels, and clearing debris. The enemy had retreated for now, but the cost was clear. The station was battered, several aliens had been injured, and humans had not escaped unscathed. Ethan Cole stood on the command deck, watching the situation with calm determination. He had seen the battle, coordinated the fleet, and directed every boarding action. He knew humans were strong, but even he could feel the weight of the casualties. Beside him, Lisa Brown worked on communications, translating alien systems to help stabilize energy flows and coordinate repairs. "We held them off," Ethan said quietly. "But we lost some good people." Kevin Ross, rubbing a bruise on his arm, nodded. "It was worse than I thought. Some of our smaller ships barely made it back. Our boarding teams are battered, but we're still alive." "We did what we had to," Ethan said. "We answered the call. Nothing else matters more than that." The aliens moved through the corridors, helping where they could. Leora checked on the wounded and organized small teams to assist human medics. She watched as human officers like Maria Young and Jack Turner carried injured aliens to safe rooms. The humans worked tirelessly, refusing to rest even when exhaustion and injuries slowed them down. "I cannot believe they keep going," Zarek said, looking at the medics. "Their bodies should fail, but they continue. It is extraordinary." "That is why they survived their worlds," Leora said. "Their courage is stronger than fear." In the medical bay, Clara Evans, a human medic, worked with several alien nurses to tend to wounds. Burns, cuts, and broken limbs were treated quickly. She cleaned and bandaged injuries with precision, calming the injured with words in both alien and human languages. "Thank you," an alien nurse whispered. We thought we would all die." "You will survive," Clara said firmly. "We do not leave anyone behind. That is the way humans fight and live." Outside, the remaining human fleet scanned for returning enemy forces. Ethan ordered repair teams to stabilize the station's hull and shields, knowing that the battle could resume at any moment. The aliens helped where they could, learning from humans how to reinforce key points and manage resources efficiently. "Why do they do this?" Zarek asked Leora, watching Ethan direct the fleet. "They could leave us and survive, yet they stay even after being hurt themselves." "Humans are different," Leora replied. "They answer the call, they fight for others, not just themselves. That is why they are called Deathworlders. It is not just survival, it is courage." Maria Young led a small team to the outer docking bays. Several alien ships had been damaged during the battle, and human engineers were helping repair them. Debris floated in space, but Maria directed her team with calm authority, coordinating repairs and defense measures. Jack Turner assisted, moving quickly between consoles and injured crew, never stopping. "They never rest," Zarek said again, amazed, "even when there is nothing left to fight." "It is not about fighting," Leora said. "It is about helping." Humans endure because they care for others. Inside the station, Ethan walked through corridors, checking on the teams. He stopped to help a human soldier with a deep gash on his arm. "Keep pressure here," he said. "We stabilize you first, then continue." The soldier nodded, grateful. Ethan moved on, helping wherever he could, setting an example for both humans and aliens alike. Aliens began to see humans differently. What they had feared as ruthless and dangerous beings were now protectors and leaders. They began to adopt human methods for repairs, defense, and even simple coordination, learning quickly from their new allies. Hope spread through the station, a feeling that had been absent for days. "We could never have held them off alone," Zarek admitted to Leora. "Without humans, we would have died." "Yes," Leora said softly, her voice filled with respect. "But now we live, and we remember that courage exists even when we think all is lost." Even the wounded humans did not complain. They moved through the halls, giving instructions, assisting medics, and ensuring that every alien was safe. Ethan coordinated supply routes, moving food, water, and energy resources to critical areas. The aliens marveled at the discipline and endurance of these humans, who never seemed to slow down even when pain and exhaustion weighed on them. In one control room, Kevin Ross worked with Zarek to stabilize the main energy conduits. Sparks flew, and the system groaned under the strain, but together they managed to restore full power to the station. The lights came back steady and bright, and the station no longer felt like a dying place. "You have done well," Zarek said, finally smiling. We can function again, thanks to you." "We just do what must be done," Kevin replied. "Humans answer calls like yours." "That is enough." Outside, the human fleet maintained positions around the station. Ethan monitored every movement, ready to respond if the enemy returned. The battle had taught the humans and aliens both valuable lessons about strategy, courage, and cooperation. Each side had survived not only because of strength, but because of trust. Maria Young and Jack Turner continued to assist wounded aliens, moving quickly through the station. "We cannot rest," Maria said. "We make sure everyone is safe first." "Then we deal with ourselves," Jack nodded. "It is the only way." Inside the med bay, Clara Evans finished treating the last of the most critically injured aliens. She wiped sweat from her forehead and looked around. Every person, human or alien, had been touched by exhaustion, fear, or pain, yet the room hummed with quiet determination. The humans were not leaving until every life was safe. "This is remarkable," Leora whispered to herself. She looked at Ethan on the communication channel. "You could have left, no one else answered our call, yet you stayed, even at great cost." "We stay because it is right," Ethan replied. "That is what humans do. We answer calls even when it is dangerous, even when hope seems lost." The aliens began repairing the station more effectively, inspired by human methods. Walls were strengthened, energy conduits reinforced, and medical facilities expanded. Even alien children who had been hidden in safe rooms helped by passing tools and supplies to adults under supervision. "We are learning from them," Zarek said, observing a human technician teach alien engineers how to stabilize shields. "They are not just fighting. They are teaching us to survive." "Yes," Leora said, smiling faintly, "and that is why they are our hope, not just because they fight, but because they endure and guide." Hours later, Ethan assembled a report for the fleet. Most humans were tired and injured, but spirits remained high. They had faced extreme danger, and their actions had saved the station and countless alien lives. "We should rest," Lisa Brown suggested softly. "We cannot operate at this pace forever." "Rest, yes," Ethan said, "but only after the station is stable. Every life matters. Humans endure for others. It is what we are trained to do and what we choose to do." The aliens watched the humans in awe. Fear had transformed into respect. Admiration grew into trust. They saw that humans were not just strong, they were brave, patient, and willing to sacrifice themselves for strangers. Zarek approached Leora quietly. "I never imagined beings like this existed," he said. "They are incredible. They do not fear death. They run toward it if others depend on them." That is why they are called Deathworlders, Leora replied. They are born to survive harsh worlds, yes, but their true strength is in their courage and choice to protect others. As the night of the battle faded, humans and aliens worked together to rebuild what they could. The station no longer felt like a dying place. Hope, trust, and determination filled the corridors. Humans moved through the halls, injured or not, always checking on others, always ensuring that no life was lost. Ethan Cole looked over the station from the observation deck. The enemy had been driven back, the wounded cared for, and the station had survived against impossible odds. Yet he knew the galaxy would remember this day not only for the victory, but for what humans had shown: courage, endurance, and the choice to act when others would not. Leora joined him on the deck. "You saved us," she said softly. "I do not know how to thank you." "No thanks needed," Ethan replied. "We answered the call, that is enough. Now we ensure that you live and that your people can rebuild." The alien leader nodded, understanding. Humans had arrived when all hope seemed lost. They had fought, protected, healed, and guided. Their courage and endurance would forever be remembered. The station glowed faintly under repaired lights. Humans and aliens stood together, exhausted but alive. The battle had ended, but the lesson remained clear. True courage is not just strength or weapons. It is the will to act for others, even when the world turns against you. And so the station survived. Humans and aliens working side by side. A symbol of endurance and hope in a galaxy that had long forgotten what courage could truly be. The station was quiet now, though not completely. Lights flickered occasionally, and the hum of repair machinery filled the corridors. Humans and aliens moved together, restoring the battered facility to life. The battle had ended, but the work of survival continued. Ethan Cole walked through the halls, observing the teams. Humans carried tools, repair panels, and medical supplies, while aliens assisted where they could. Some were learning new techniques, inspired by the human approach. It was a busy, careful rhythm, a harmony born from cooperation and mutual respect. "We should set up long-term defenses," Ethan said to Lisa Brown, who was coordinating alien systems with human tech. "If the enemy returns, we need to be ready." "I agree," Lisa said. "We can combine human strategies with their knowledge of the station. It will be stronger than before." Kevin Ross was in the engineering bay, working with Zarek to reinforce the energy grids. He handed Zarek a human-designed tool. "Try this," he said. "It will stabilize the conduit faster." Zarek examined the tool, unfamiliar but curious. He followed Kevin's instructions and watched as the system hummed to life. "Incredible," he said. "We could never have done this alone." "Humans survive because we adapt," Kevin replied. "We also teach what we know to others. That is how we grow together." Outside the station, the human fleet remained vigilant. Scouts patrolled the area for enemy ships, while repair vessels assisted the station's damaged defenses. Ethan watched the stars, knowing that although the enemy had been driven back, danger was never far away. Yet he felt calm. Humans had proven their strength, endurance, and ability to protect others. Inside the station, Leora moved among her people. The aliens were tired, but their spirits were higher than they had been for days. Humans had shown them a courage and determination that inspired hope. Even young aliens who had hidden in safe rooms during the battle now helped pass supplies and assist medics. "We owe them everything," Zarek said quietly to Leora. "We were ready to die, and now we live." "Yes," Leora replied, "but we also learned something. Courage can arrive from anywhere, even when all seems lost." Maria Young and Jack Turner were in the medical bay, checking on wounded humans and aliens alike. Even though their own injuries were still fresh, they moved tirelessly. Their presence comforted the aliens. These humans did not fight for glory, they fought for others. "We will recover," Maria said to an injured alien, "and we will survive because we help each other." "That is what humans do," Jack nodded. "We answer the call no matter how dangerous. We do not leave anyone behind." Leora watched the interactions quietly, marveling at the dedication of these humans. Their willingness to act in the face of danger had saved countless lives and had changed the way her people saw the galaxy. She thought of the other civilizations that had ignored their distress signal. Shame and disbelief filled her mind. Humans had come when everyone else turned away. "Their courage is beyond measure," she whispered. "We must never forget this." The aliens began organizing their own crews, learning from humans how to manage repairs and coordinate defenses efficiently. Slowly, order returned to the station. Corridors were cleared, damaged panels replaced, and energy systems stabilized. Human teams continued to teach and guide, showing patience and skill that impressed even the most skeptical alien engineers. Ethan gathered his officers for a briefing. "The immediate threat is gone," he said. "The station is safe for now, but we must help them prepare for the future, train their crews, strengthen defenses, and make sure every life can be protected." "They are eager to learn," Lisa said. "They are not like other species who give up when hope is gone. They want to survive, and they want to fight alongside us if needed." "Then we teach them," Ethan said firmly. "Humans do not leave anyone unprepared. If they survive because someone showed them the way." Throughout the station, humans and aliens worked together. Humans repaired walls, reinforced shields, and stabilized vital systems. Aliens assisted, learning quickly and applying new techniques. The bond between the two species grew stronger with every task completed. Zarek approached Ethan hesitantly. "Captain," he said, we owe you our lives. Your people risked everything. Why do you do this?" Ethan smiled softly. "We answer the call because it is right. Because no one should die alone. Humans endure and we protect. That is what we do. You would do the same for others if you could." Zarek nodded, understanding slowly dawning. "Then we will honor this. We will teach our people, and we will remember your courage." Leora gathered the alien leaders later in the day. "Humans are not just survivors," she said. "They are protectors, teachers, and friends. The galaxy may not understand them yet, but we do. They came when no one else would. We will not forget this." Aliens began keeping records of the humans' actions, detailing every courageous deed, every repair, and every rescue. These accounts would spread across the galaxy, showing what humans were capable of. The story of the station, the battle, and the humans who answered the call would become a legend. Outside, the human fleet prepared to leave. Ethan called a final meeting over the communication channel. "We have done what we can for now," he said. "Your station is safe, your people are alive, and your crews have learned what they need to survive. The rest is up to you. Remember what you saw, what you learned, and never forget that courage exists, even in the darkest moments." Leora addressed the humans. "You have saved us all. We will rebuild, and we will carry your lessons forward. Your people are not just warriors, they are symbols of hope." "We did what anyone should do," Ethan said. "Humans answer the call. It is not about glory or fame. It is about protecting life when it matters most." As the human fleet departed, the aliens watched in awe. Ships disappeared into the void, leaving trails of light behind them. The station was still damaged, but alive. The survivors began the process of rebuilding, inspired by the humans' example. They repaired walls, reinforced energy grids, and trained their crews to be ready for anything. "They changed everything," Zarek said to Leora. "We were alone, and now we are not. The galaxy will never forget this." "No," Leora replied, "and neither will we. The humans came when no one else would. We call them Deathworlders, yes, but they are more than that. They are our hope, our teachers, and our friends." Weeks passed. The station returned to a functional state. Aliens trained under human guidance, improving their defenses, learning new strategies, and preparing for the future. Messages spread to nearby civilizations, telling of the humans who ran into danger when others ignored the call. Whispers of their courage traveled fast, reaching ears that had never considered humans as anything more than newcomers. "Humans answered the call," Zarek said to a group of young aliens. "Remember that. When others turn away, humans run toward danger. We will never forget it." Leora nodded, watching the young ones absorb the lesson. "They showed us that courage is a choice. Humans endure and they protect, and if we remember that, we can face any challenge." Even long after the humans had left, the station kept a small memorial at its center. It was simple, a symbol of the fleet that had arrived, the lives saved, and the courage that had changed their world. Aliens and humans alike would tell the story for generations, of the call that no one responded to until the Deathworlders came. In time, other civilizations heard of the humans' deeds. They were no longer seen as weak, naive, or inexperienced newcomers. They were seen as protectors, fierce and courageous, willing to endure unimaginable hardship to answer the call of those in need. The legend of the humans spread, inspiring hope and admiration across star systems. Aliens often spoke quietly among themselves about the day humans arrived. Zarek remembered every act of bravery, every human who risked themselves for strangers, and every lesson learned from their methods. Leora recorded the story in the official archives, ensuring it would survive for centuries. Humans came, she said softly, when no one else would. They fought, they healed, they taught, and they endured. The galaxy may doubt them, but we will not. Their courage will guide us forever. The stars above the station were calm now, reflecting off the newly repaired walls. Humans had gone, but their impact remained. The aliens were stronger, wiser, and hopeful. The station, once on the brink of destruction, now shone as a beacon of endurance, courage, and cooperation. And so the story ended, not with a battle or a death, but with hope. Humans had arrived when all others ignored the call. They had fought, healed, taught, and endured. And in doing so, they had changed the galaxy forever. The legend would live on. The call went unanswered by all until the Deathworlders came.